Today, we're going to cover the use of light and darkness to program your brain, program your body for awesome quality sleep. Now, if you haven't commented in our community, do go and say hi, post any questions, share some of your challenges that you're looking to work on. But even more important, what would you do with more energy, with higher quality sleep? Because that's part of that envisioning an outcome, and it will help you get the results that you're after. Okay? All right, so let's begin. Let me just get started and I'll shrink away. So today, the topic is how to use light and darkness to program your brain for quality sleep. We're going to cover quite a few things. You will discover that your body has a clock. And this clock is actually very impactful to whether you've got energy in your day or whether you are able to sleep with high quality. So that's really, really important. The second thing is, what is the problem of light and darkness in modern world and how that gets in the way of quality sleep. And thirdly, we'll talk about how you can take advantage of what we know, what you discovered today, and so you can take action and actually do something about it. I've got so much things and tips I want to share with you, and I'm also looking forward to your ideas how you can take this principle going forward, because what I'm sharing with you is not one particular thing or a tool or a therapy. I'm sharing with you principles that you can use and to manipulate and come up with your own ways of achieving the same outcome. Hope that makes sense. Okay, first, your body has a clock. So you might think that's obvious, but what's the impact of that in sleep? So we're talking about the body clock. We've known that there's clocks in biology since 1751, and Swedish botanist and naturalist Carl Linus, I can't pronounce his surname very well. He actually designed a flower clock based on what he noticed on how some flowers open in certain time of the day, and if you arrange it in a particular way, you actually get a flower clock where the flowers are open depending on what time of the day it is. It's quite incredible, isn't it? Right, to have a clock like that. But the thing is that discovery of body clock is actually even more ancient than that. In fact, in Chinese medicine, they discovered as far as 1340s, and there's argument that it's even go back further, that your Chinese flow of energy, the flow of energy, your qi, follows a particular rhythm of clock. And they divide the 24-hour day into 2-hour cycle where your energy will flow from different areas of body into other and impacting your overall health. And we know that this is something that is actually very effective, and Chinese medicine take advantage of that using herbs, using acupuncture. It's all based on the principle of qi and cycle. So this is ancient, the body clock concept, and it's actually confirmed in modern science. So if you look at the clock, this is another version of the body clock. And as you can see, this is something that is quite entrenched. Now, it might seem obvious to you, but we've got a lot of challenges in the modern day that impacts our ability to follow our natural cycle. Now, what you may not know is not only does your body follow a cycle or follow a clock, so does every single cell in your body. And that's what's discovered in the 1960s. They realized that every cell has an internal clock, its own clock that's separate from the whole body, that tells you what it does, what the cell does depending on the time of day. Right? It's incredible. And how does it know? How does your cell know what time of the day? One of the most powerful signals that your cells in the body is able to tell what time of the day is lightness and darkness, right? Just the contrast of light and dark. And that's how you program the signal, program your brain, program your cell. The problem we have is we work in a world where our day looks more like this. So during the day, we're surrounded by artificial light, no natural sunlight. It's the same as during the night. During the night, again, more artificial light, no natural light. So our body, one of the most powerful way for the body to be able to tell what time of the day it is, light and darkness, it's taken out. No wonder your biology is confused. It doesn't. You can't sleep properly. You're not getting energy during the day because you can't really quite tell it is the daylight. We have artificial light that just really lacks the full spectrum, right? A sunlight has infrared, has ultraviolet, has blue, yellow, orange, all the colors of the rainbow as a full spectrum light, whereas artificial lighting inside the office just doesn't have the what your body needs in terms of biology. And we know that a certain species of reptile that if you don't give it the right light, it will actually literally die. And we know for a fact that certain plants grow under the right type of light. Anyone who's growing plants inside a, what do you call it, hydroponic indoor environment will know that light has a huge impact on biology. So this is given. It's proven. And the problem for us is the modern lifestyle. It just means that we lose the signaling. We're confusing our body and we're making it more difficult to get the energy we need during the day, and we're making it very difficult for your body to do what it needs to do to prepare for sleep. So what can we do about this? How can we take advantage of this? Now that you know this knowledge, what can we do? Well, the principle I want you to take away today is increase the contrast of day and night using light and darkness wherever possible. So during the day, get some sun, get some natural sun. Okay, that's very important. Don't cover up it with umbrellas and avoid the sun. You need a natural, healthy dose of full spectrum sunlight every day for you to function at your best. I'm not talking about getting sunburned, okay? But you do need some sun. You need a healthy exposure. When you go out in the sun during the day, go for a walk, 20 minutes walk. Try to expose your body, your face, at least 40% of your body to natural light. And let it soak it in. 20 to 30 minutes, you're not going to get burned. It's only if you're there hours and hours. Don't put on your sunscreen, because sunscreen will again filter up some of the spectrums of light, so you're not getting natural sunlight. Our ancestors have always had sunlight. So it's not going to kill you to get 20, 30 minutes of sunlight every day. Just that, in fact, it will actually help you become healthier, having some level of sunlight. So get some sun, and that will increase your energy level during the day. But more importantly, that gives your body the contrast. It's signaling to say, hey, it's daytime, and let's get some energy. Let's pump out the adrenaline, noradrenaline, and all these hormones that give you energy, because it's daytime. That's when you're meant to be working. And another thing you should do is to make sure that your office is brightly lit. And ideally, if you can sit near the window whenever possible, do so. So increase the contrast, get as much natural light as possible, and that will signal your body to work well during the day. Then in your evening, this is where we need to start to change and increase the contrast, because remember, during the day, you want light, and nighttime, you want darkness. Don't sit under a brightly lit office with all these artificial lights shining in your face, and your computers and your phone shining into your face. Remember, these are actual light sources. They're like torches. You're shining a bright light into your eye. You're telling your brain, because your eye have light sensors. It's telling your brain, feeding directly into your neocortex, that it's during the day. You're not at night. You're during the day. You should stay awake. Therefore, your brain, your body doesn't know to create the melatonin that helps you to sleep. So some of you might be taking melatonin because your brain is not getting the signal to make its own. So you're taking it, yeah? We need to change that. We need to fix the fundamental problem. The fundamental problem is at nighttime, you really do not want to have like bright lights shining into your eyes. And if you do need to use your phone, there's In a separate module, we'll talk about technology use strategy of how to mitigate some of the impact of this so you can get work done. But just briefly, make sure it's the brightness is toned down to the minimum. If you've got a red light filter, put on a red light filter and do that, and that's a beginning. But make sure you create a contrast of darkness at night when you're supposed to get the rest. So some idea is turn off the big bright light over the top of your head because your brain thinks that's the sun. A lot of the problem with LEDs these days is that so a lot of people, to save energy, they want to have LEDs, and the problem with LEDs and fluorescent light is it's very heavy in blue, and in nature the light that has the heaviest amount of blue is your lunch, as in midday sun. That's the heaviest blue light in the spectrum, and that's your signal for the brain to not produce melatonin, not to go to sleep, which is not what you want if you're preparing for bed. If you want quality sleep, make sure you dim the lights, and you can replace it with red LED. So what I have here to show, let me just see if I can make myself bigger. Okay, cool. Can you see this? You can buy this kind of red colored light globe. Now you can buy dedicated one which is just got the right spectrum, just the red, and this is fantastic for doing work at night without disrupting your sleep. They're not very expensive. In a shopper's guide that I'll send through to you as part of this course, I'll show you where to go get these and what to buy, which are the best brands. You can get LEDs that simulates candle, right? So use this at night rather than full over the head light, which is midday sun as far as your body is concerned. Use these instead. Okay, so or another thing that you can use is simple candles, right? Light some candles, very nice atmosphere. Turn off the main lights. What you might want to have is some smaller lamps with this, but just make sure that the angle of light is another signaling mechanism for your brain that it's midday sun, right? Midday is right over the top of your head. Unfortunately, that's where usual home light is really all over the top of your head. But if you can have it like at the desk level, lower level on your desk, some candles that will be of huge importance for programming your biology for sleep. So let's go into the next one. Okay, now that's the evening. So evening, we talk about dimming the lights, using red wherever possible. Don't use full spectrum blue light any. This is what you don't want. And for sleep, you want complete darkness. That's what we used to do in a cave. Before modern lifestyle, we sleep in complete darkness. If you live on a street, there's a lot of street light. You want to make sure your curtain is closed, and this is what you can do. Use some black plastic bags like this and just cover all the edges. Get some sticky tape, some electrical tape, just cover up all the edges, right? So cover it up, make sure that it's no light through. Just experiment. Yeah, it might look a bit odd. In future, you can invest in proper blackout curtains or some other way of a Venetian blind that really block out all the lights, or a curtain kind of box over the top to cover it so it looks nice. But in the meantime, you don't want to over-invest. Just make sure that you get some completely blackened room, and that will be the best room to sleep in. Just have that big contrast, so your body, you're sending your body the right signals. And if you do need to get up in the middle of the night to use the restroom or to go to the toilet, to look after someone, have those red lights on, right? Don't put on big blue light, bright light that really just tells your body it's midday sun and your body get confused. Give your body the right signal, have a complete blacked out. And another thing that you want to maybe have a look at. Now, this is from, hopefully you can see this. This is from True Dark. So True Dark produced these little kind of fancy stickers. And these stickers, what happens is they're like electrical tape. So you can use electrical tape if you want, but go to all your devices, the one with blinking lights, red flashing lights, or a clock like this. Okay, just make sure that they turn off, they're facing away, because you want a true dark, truly darkened room for sleep. And that's a principle that you want to utilize to start to program your brain for rest, and program in the evening, and also for program your brain for energy by having that light. Using light and darkness is key principle that you need to start adopting and using in your day-to-day. If you want to do something quick, get some electrical tape, that'll be fine. Now, for total darkness, that's great for sleep, but then how do you wake up? How do you wake up to the sunlight if you just darken your entire room? Well, you can get one of those programmable clock. This is a sunlight alarm that actually simulates sunlight in the morning. So at the particular time when you set, you'll start to glow, and it reproduces almost like a sunrise. You'll find that I think this is $70 from Amazon. Really good investment. It lights up the room nicely in the morning, almost like this a morning sun, morning dawn, and just wakes you up very gently. Your eyes are tuned to those signals. And that's really, really important to be conscious that lightness and darkness and the angle of the light is critical for you to be able to program and set your body up, set your biology for quality sleep. If you do this, along with all the things else, this is what's going to create the impact. Now, keep on coming back to the system thinking or the systems metaphor, that we need to do this in conjunction with other things. For some of you, this thing alone will make a huge difference. I've literally doubled my deep sleep by just doing this. I just completely black out. Now, it took me a little while to get used to it because I've always slept with a night lamp. It made me feel safer. But look, I transitioned. Eventually, I just have no lights, and I'm good with that. For you, if it causes you a little bit anxiety, you might have one of those red light bulbs for now. Just practice, and then see if you can practice sitting in the darkness. You can practice some of the mindfulness breath work that I will show you later in the module, so that you can be at peace in darkness, not be stressed out and be scared by it. But as a transition, right? It's okay. Use the red light globe, just very dim, low on the floor, as much as possible, and that way, that's a good way to transition towards darkness. Just make sure you don't have candles burning as you sleep. It's a fire hazard. Don't do it. Okay, candles. It's great when you're awake, but just don't use it for sleep. Okay, so I hope you understand the principle. So, taking action today, you're going to take some action, and I've got a few things for you to do. So, if you have a look at the slides. First of all, I'd like you to see if you can download an app to measure your sleep and to provide better quality feedback for you in terms of how much deep sleep are you actually getting, how much REM sleep are you actually getting, and maybe a sleeping score. I highly encourage that because that gives you more data. We want to make decisions based on good quality data, and whatever app that you find useful. And here's some recommended one that I've used before. Sleep Space does a little bit more than just other app. It actually plays the right sound to trigger a deeper sleep as you sleep. So it senses, not just senses what stage of sleep you are, but it actually senses. It actually sends out a signal, and they define certain sound actually enhances the sleep based on the stage of sleep you are. So it does a few things that the other app that doesn't. Sleep as Android, Sleep Cycle are all really popular apps that's really good for sleeping. Just make sure that when you do download the app, I'll talk a little bit about Wi-Fi later on. Make sure you set your phone in flight mode. Okay, don't have like this radio signal going on next to your head. Put it in flight mode, turn on the app, then track your sleep that way. It's very important. I'm not going to go too much into it, but that's very important to keep.